our job is hardcore. There's all sorts that can happen.
Everything we do relies on this bond between us all.
Just stay down. No.
You're okay, you're okay.
You have to be comfortable in high-stress situations.
Save a life, and you're a hero.
You're in the hospital.
How much? Do you want to tell me what drugs you want to win?
Save 100, you're a nurse. In Australia, 1 in 10 nurses hails from the United Kingdom.
It's a bloody good job. It's so good.
Big deep breath in.
Through their eyes, you'll see life.
Push.
Good girl!
Death.
Unfortunately, we can't save her.
And everything in between.
Coughs, colds and sore holes.
Welcome to the front line
2, 3.
of one of the world's toughest
It's all right, darling. We're looking after you, okay?
and most trusted professions.
It was scary, hey?
Nurses are superheroes, without capes, just in scrubs.
In the emergency department of St Vincent's Hospital,
Travis to resus 3, please.
We've got an OPA here.
a team of 16 doctors and 18 nurses treat an average of 980 patients a week.
St Vincent's standing by for car 444.
Something always happens in emergency, day or night. It's just busy all the time. A 50-year-old gentleman found on the floor with a hematoma on his head. There's no predictability in your shifts, and that's why I like it. Emergency can throw anything at you. Do you have any chest pain?
It's the start of resuscitation nurse Yun's shift, and a major trauma is on its way.
St Vincent standing by for 420.
Good morning from car 420. We're coming to you with a 21-year-old female who was kicked by a horse to the face, subsequently presented to us agitated and combative. Injuries-wise, she's got a large, deep laceration to the chin. She's lost 2 teeth.
St Vincent's copy clear. As a nurse in emergency, we see a lot of major traumas, the patients who need to be seen as quick as possible. Hey mate, can I call a major trauma to resus 3, please? And generally can be life-threatening. Are you ready to hand over, Deb? Yeah.
She's got massive head trauma, so I think it'd be urgent.
All right, let's get her across.
With severe head trauma, the team are concerned about brain and spinal injuries.
I'm Paul, I'm the doctor here.
They must stabilise and assess the patient quickly.
Can you squeeze my fingers here? Can you open your eyes for me?
There's a lot of time-critical things that need to be done.
Open your eyes for us.
Airway management, or the cardiac management.
Doing well.
With the laceration to her jaw causing heavy bleeding, the patient becomes increasingly agitated as she struggles to breathe.
You're all right. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's gagging from back.
Let's get her blood drawn.
1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna put that blade out.
Yeah.
Spit out all the blood.
All right, my dear. For me.
Yeah. Are you in pain at the moment?
So let's get the ketamine in. We're just running a gas.
Open your mouth and just spit out all the blood.
You okay?
It's always full of blood.
Yeah.
On the other side of the harbour, in the maternity ward of the Mater Hospital, a team of 90 midwives work around the clock to bring more than 2,000 babies into the world each year.
Come on, gorgeous.
I get a lot of questions about when the baby's going to be born. I said, you know, I'd be so rich if I could tell you when your baby's born, but I just can't. The baby will just turn up when it's ready. Yeah, thank you. Bye. My name is Lucy, and I'm a registered midwife at the Mater Hospital.
So the heart rate should be between 110 and 160.
I decided to become a midwife because my sister was born prematurely.
You happy with the movement now? Yeah.
My dad would take us to see Katie in the special care baby unit. She was literally tiny. She was only 3.5 pounds. It fascinated me. All in all, I've been doing it for 15 years.
She's come in with reduced movements. She's being induced tomorrow.
I just think it's bloody awesome.
All right, so you just set yourself up in here. It's gonna be the room that you have your baby. So you excited?
I think we couldn't sleep last night.
Oh, last night you couldn't sleep. That's just practice for what the newborn's gonna be like, you know?
Today, Lucy will be assisting first-time parents Jenny and Paul,
So just make yourself comfy on the bed. That's it. Bit more.
whose baby is full-term but hasn't moved into birthing position on its own.
So Jenny's come in. It's her first baby. She's 39 weeks and 6 days, and she's come in for an induction. So we're going to start the labour process for her. Can you just lift this up for me? I'm going to have a feel of your tummy. Before we start the induction process, we have to make sure that baby's happy. Oops, it's moving. So that I can feel the head here. All right, so now I'm going to pop you on the monitor. We're going to have the whole birth documented. It's good. It's good, though, isn't it?
I actually feel very sorry for dads sometimes because they're like a deer in the headlights. They have no idea what to do.
Camera B ready? Rolling.
I had one guy was just so adamant about getting this birth video, so he had a GoPro attached to him, and during the delivery felt faint and passed out. So goodness knows what this video looks like.
Okay, so that's the baby's heartbeat, okay?
45% of women giving birth for the first time are induced, which involves giving artificial hormones to bring on contractions.
Good morning.
Oh, Steve.
Jenny's obstetrician, Dr. Stephen Lyons, will break her waters before the induction hormones are administered.
Paul, do you want to come? Where do you want to stand?
Come up this end.
All right, nice big deep breaths. Just try and relax. That's it. Breathe it away, breathe. Good. You're doing really well. Waters are broken. Yay!
Really? Naturally?
No, we broke them.
A little bit of help.
Just a little bit. How good. So he used a tiny little hook called an amnicot, and he then just scratched the top of the baby's head, and that broke the bag of waters. Oh.
Very brave. That was hard.
Oh.
Really well. So now we can start the drip and get you into labour.
All right, so we've got the drip, okay? This is going to go through a pump, and it's going to connect just onto here. Okay. All right? We start it on a very, very small dose. We don't want you to suddenly go into these big contractions because we don't want to stress the baby out. Labour's stressful for the baby, but it's a good stress, and what we want to be careful of is not stressing the baby out too much and the baby getting tired, because that's when we have to intervene a little bit. So ideally, I don't really want you to be on your back because gravity helps. That's it. Sit down. Good job. How's that? Each and every contraction is getting closer and closer to meeting your baby, and that's what, if you think that way, you'll see it as a positive pain, and your body's doing exactly what it needs to do. So it's just about trusting it and being patient.
Across town, in the emergency department of St Vincent's Hospital,
Get out all the blood.
All right, my dear. You're doing all right.
Ewan is attending to a 21-year-old critically injured patient.
We've got a young lady over there. She's been kicked in the face by a horse.
Have a look at her airway here. It looks pretty all right.
She's got pretty bad injuries to her jaw.
There's no other injuries externally. I think it's all just head injuries.
We're worried about her airway.
We're just going to do the airway plan. So Angus, you're happy to do the plan A? Yeah. Great. And you got 2 dual suction? Yeah. In-mind mobilisation? Perfect. So just giving the ketamine now.
The decision is made to sedate and intubate the patient to maintain an open airway and prevent suffocation.
In major trauma, you're never alone, which is a good thing. It's a big team.
Still breathing.
And everyone gets assigned a role. Some roles are more stressful than others. But even though you're stressed out, you are dealing with someone's life. You want them to live, so you just focus on your job.
With the patient safely intubated and stabilised, she can now be sent to medical imaging for injury assessment.
1, 2, 3.
While her face is clearly damaged, the greater concern is that the horse kick might have thrown her brain back against her skull.
We don't get it very often, but when we get people coming from horses, you're worried about the impact and whether when they've been hit in the head, whether that's caused their brain to bounce to the back of their head, which can cause an injury called a contre-acute injury.
To the green zone, ETA 4 minutes. Do you want to transfer to more oxygen? Yes, please.
In emergency, 21-year-old Albany is undergoing a CT scan to assess her injuries following a kick from a horse.
Yeah, okay.
You know, below 5 there's nothing.
Yeah.
She's got depressed fracture and
that
through
whole
fracture of the front section.
Yeah. Yep, she's got a fracture of her jaw, so she's lost a couple of her front teeth on the bottom as well, so she'll need to have that repaired by the plastics team. All right, we all good? Yeah. Well, she's lucky she doesn't have a significant head injury that needs to be taken to the operating theatre.
With a brain bleed ruled out, Albany is returned to Yun's care in the emergency department as she awaits her family's arrival. Across the harbour, in the maternity ward of the Martyr Hospital.
How are you feeling, Jenny?
It's 4 hours since Jenny's induction began.
Big deep breath, really fill your lungs up. Good.
Press. So I'm going to do a vaginal examination and see what stage her labour is. Is she saying she doesn't know how long she can do it for?
All right, so you're just going to feel some pressure and a bit of touching. All right, just breathe through it. Big deep breaths. The cervix has got to get to fully dilated, so 10 centimetres. So cervix is super, super thin, so it's done a lot of work. So we're definitely on our way. It's about 2 to 3, but stretchy. Yeah, but it's stretchy, all right? Okay, I think you'd be better off standing up. Yeah, so get off, pull side. It's okay, over onto your side. Well done, good.
With Jenny's painful contractions ramping up, her unborn baby's heart rate begins to increase, a sign of fetal distress.
Going through something like childbirth can get pretty full on and stressful. That's when the labour hormones don't flow. That can cause more issues.
That's the way. You keep breathing.
"30 minutes across town in the emergency department of St Vincent's Hospital, Albany, who was kicked by a horse, has had a CT scan.
So they don't think there's any intracranial bleeds. They just think mandible smash and the teeth.
Yeah, okay, sure. I was just going to clean her up before the family get here. I've always wanted to do something where it involves helping people, just so the family can come and not freak out. My mum is a nurse. She works in Balmain as a rehab nurse. I suppose she has been an influence in me becoming a nurse.
For us, this is our job and this is what we're trained for, but for the families, it's one of the worst days of their life. So we want to make sure that they're prepared for that. While the doctor talks to the family, we always like to clean up the patients a bit, particularly for her. She's got a lot of facial injuries, which can be quite distressing. You never would expect your loved one to be in a kind of trauma like this. And when people have been intubated, obviously it's still going to be shocking, but we want to do everything we can to support them and prepare them for that.
While working in this department, you know, you'll have extreme grief responses where people are crying and screaming. You'll have other people that haven't processed what's gone on. And that's why, you know, it's really important as a nurse that you are also looking after the patient, but also looking after the family because, you know, they're just as important as the patient.
I've been in emergency for, I think, just over a year and a half. And yeah, and it's about what I've expected. At any given moment, things change. Can you tell me what's happened? How'd you end up on the floor?
The relative of the patient in Resus 3 has just had a collapse.
That's the brother of the girl.
This shift's just chaos.
He's pumping to you early. He's giving him steroids.
How'd you end up on the floor?
21-year-old Albany has been kicked in the face by a horse and is stabilising in emergency.
That's the brother of the girl.
Her brother has passed out after seeing her facial injuries and now needs medical attention of his own.
You can turn your head up and down. You got that off your head? You're not too sure?
No, I'm all right.
We're all good. All good. Chest pain? Good. Good. We're just going to get you to sit up, all right?
It's probably very scary for someone to see their loved one with a breathing tube and a lot of facial injuries.
And we'll check your sugar and all that stuff. You all right? Yeah. Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, I just saw my sister and...
Yeah.
No. Take a seat. Just
He's okay, he's been triaged. We'll just monitor him for a little while and then hopefully he'll be able to go home after that.
Albany's brother will now be held in emergency for observation, while she's moved to the intensive care unit before the surgery to repair her broken jaw and missing teeth.
They look like they've come out from the...
They do, exactly, they're intact.
Yeah.
We just want to try and keep the teeth alive, and usually we put them in back in their mouth, but we can't this time, so we're going to put them in milk, and that helps preserve it.
The proteins in milk maintain the perfect pH balance and stop the root from bursting like it would if placed in water.
I know. Oh no! How did that happen?
I'm feeling you may have just done that on camera.
Is there a good story associated?
No, I was just messing around with a surfboard.
Oh no.
I know, such an error. It was at the bottom of the ocean, I watched it float away.
Oh no.
In the maternity department of the Mater Hospital,
So lean over the bed.
first-time mum-to-be Jenny is now 6 hours into her induction.
Nice and focused, good.
And midwife Lucy is worried about the baby's rising heart rate.
Going through something like childbirth can get pretty stressful. That's when the labour hormones don't flow. That can cause more issues. Slow your breathing, slow it down. That's it. Stay nice and focused. All right. You can have it whenever you like. Would you like the epidural? You want me to organise it for you? Okay, that's okay. I'm going to go and call the doctor. He's going to come and put the epidural in, okay? An epidural is the most effective form of pain relief we have on offer. I find that when women have the oxytocin drip, they are strong, frequent contractions, which is obviously what we need, but because they're artificial, they ramp up so quickly, and often women need more pain relief.
Once the epidural is working, Jenny is no longer in pain, but Lucy has called the obstetrician because the baby still appears to be in distress.
You remember that baseline I told you about? It's now risen, so the baby's working quite hard. The heart rate's a bit higher than normal, so I think the baby's probably getting a bit tired. So Stephen can assess the situation and then we see what we do.
You're not out the woods until the baby's out.
"30 minutes across town.
You got pain at the moment?
In the intensive care unit of St Vincent's Hospital, a team of 8 doctors and 21 nurses work around the clock to provide high-level care to over 1,200 critically ill patients each year.
Now looking up for me. It's interesting, the cases that you see. Being an ICU nurse makes you really realise that life is so precious. To be an ICU nurse, you need to be empathetic, you need to be on the ball all the time, and it is a big thing to be a team player.
We have 2 transplants coming this afternoon, a heart and a lung.
When there are things like arrests or if you need to roll your patients, you need to be able to rely on your team members.
So Zoe, you'll be all on your own down on the south side, so just call out for help. Thank you.
Intensive care patients are critically ill and require constant close monitoring, so the nurses work one-to-one with their patients. On Zoe's shift tonight, she's looking after a patient from Darwin who has just had major heart surgery.
This patient's name's Colleen. She has just come from the Northern Territory and she had coronary artery bypass surgery where they put some little grafts inside the heart.
The care that Zoe provides Colleen in the next 24 hours will be vital to her recovery.
Colleen, you're just waking up. Can you squeeze my hands? That's really good. What about this side? Give it a squeeze. That's great. And can you wiggle your toes for me? Perfect. It's very uncomfortable, that tube, isn't it?
Colleen was intubated for the operation. Zoe needs to monitor her as she comes out of sedation and make sure she is stable enough for the breathing tube to be removed.
Are you in pain? Water, I know. Once that tube comes out, we can give you some 4 hours after, okay? I mean, everyone gets really thirsty, and that's the first question they always ask after having the breathing tube in. Once we take the breathing tube out, then you have to wait 4 to 6 hours because patients can have problems with swallowing. That's good. I know. Try and slow down your breathing for me. You're doing really well. The patients are in hospital 24/7. I like to think when you come to work, you have to treat them like we're coming into almost their little home, and you need to look after them like that was your own family. Nice deep breaths. I'd do anything for them.
This afternoon, Zoe is working with experienced ICU nurse Ali.
I'm here all afternoon. Okay.
I love working with Ali. She makes work fun. She's organised, she knows what's going on, and she's around all the time.
I've known Zoe probably about a year now.
I got my second runner skill done.
Go girl.
Lose weight.
So we both were new grads here. For me, it was a few years ago.
I got to do my intubation.
From sort of the minute we met, we got on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
So I have a few roles. I work on the floor, so I'm a bedside nurse for intensive care patients. I'm also a team leader in charge, which is bed flow, patient flow. I think tomorrow morning we could discharge her to the ward. Being a resource for other nurses on the floor. And I'm also a Code Blue runner, so we run to all of the medical emergencies in the hospital if they do occur. Bye, Kat, thanks.
Ali, Code Blue, 9 North Bed 20.
Where is it, sorry?
9 North Bed 20.
Okay, cool, thanks. Here you go.
A Code Blue alerts all staff to a life-threatening medical emergency, such as a cardiac or respiratory arrest.
The reason we respond to a Code Blue is because of the training that we do. Being intensive care, we assist in airway management, intubation, which is something that you do at Code Blue. 9 North is geriatrics. Happy to be airway, and I'll do defib. Yep, sure.
Ali has been called from the intensive care unit to assist with an elderly man who has had a seizure and will resuscitate him if needed.
Hi, I'm Ali. This is Katie and Marisa from ICU.
She arrives to find that the elderly patient is unconscious but is breathing with the aid of an oxygen mask.
He was really struggling to breathe into oxygen.
And that's the latest blood pressure?
Yeah, that's the latest.
Okay, cool.
There is no complacency in our job because patients that are deteriorating, they could die.
Can you give my hand a squeeze there, darling? Can you hear me?
No, okay. He's making some noises. Might just check his pupils and see. So they're a size 7, but they're reacting. Both of them? Both of them, yeah.
And he's sealing the parachute.
Can you hear me? There we go. Hello, darling. You're okay. Oh, you're all right. Sorry.
After a tense few minutes, the man regains consciousness.
Okay. It's okay. You're okay, darling. It's all right. Yeah.
He is dazed, but doesn't need resuscitation from Ali.
All right, guys. Hope everything's okay. If you need anything, please just call us again. Yeah.
With the elderly man now conscious, Ali can return to ICU.
When patients are completely reliant on specialised care with us, I think you do feel that weight, and I think that's what makes you always push to do the best for your patients, because I think you know how responsible you are for them, and that's a huge privilege.
All right. Thanks, Marcy. Thank you.
It's straight back to managing the 20-bed unit, where Zoe's patient, Colleen, is now awake enough to have her breathing tube removed.
Colleen, I've got Sophie here. She's going to help us take that tube out, okay?
Hi, Colleen.
We're nearly there. In a moment, Colleen, we're going to get you to do a really big, deep cough, okay? And we'll just pull it out.
Cough this later.
Okay, big cough is... That's really good, Colleen, really good. How nice is it to have that out? Just going to put some oxygen up your nose, okay? Your surgery went all well. We've had everyone calling. We've had your uncle and Tanya call as well. Everyone's excited to hear how you are. It's interesting because it's not always the patient that are the ones that are the anxious or worried. You know, they're there and they know that we're there all the time to look after them. You did really well. You're only on a little bit of medication for your blood pressure. But I think the family, making sure that they're aware of what's going on. You know, they can call 24/7 and get an update about their family member because, you know, shift work, we're always there.
With Colleen comfortable, it's time for Zoe's dinner break. And she's on a mission.
Better run. Oh, God. Zoe's off to Una's. Look, they do great schnitzels. It's just up the road.
They're very good schnitzels. And they're massive.
She's got 30 minutes. I mean, I'm timing her. I'm timing her.
The strict 30-minute dinner rule helps the ICU nurses maintain their 1-to-1 patient ratio. So Zoe's dinner dash must be complete by 6:22 p.m. and the clock is ticking.
They'll be getting takeaways for sure. Oh, God, it's so funny.
Oh, Annabelle and I love chicken schnitzels from Una's. We'll get one whenever we're on shift together that's an afternoon shift mainly. Normally we do Uber Eats.
1 chicken extra rusty gravy.
That's our little thing that we go, okay, having a bad day, don't you worry. We've got our schnitzel.
Thank you.
You go. Thank you so much. So good.
You have to lighten your work day somehow, and I love a challenge.
That must have been the speediest service ever.
Looks delicious.
Oh, it's so good. Look at this.
We'll bring you back a doggy bag.
You know you've got like 5 minutes to get back here.
That's fine. Let's go. Hurry up. We gotta
go. They're leaving now. So she's got 5 minutes to get back. You gotta keep it light around here. We gotta have a bit of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks. 1 minute 30 to go. We'll make it. With time to spare, I think.
I think she's not going to make it. 18:23, not back. Knew it. Knew it. 1 minute late.
Hardly. I blame that on the lift.
So the baby's working quite hard. The heart rate is a bit higher than normal.
In maternity, midwife Lucy has called in Jenny's obstetrician over concerns that her baby is in distress.
So Stephen's going to examine you, and then we just go from there, OK? Hopefully his head is just sitting there, and we can have a baby.
Going through something like childbirth, I know it's scary for some people, you know? But I think you just got to be supportive and empowering and positive.
Oh, good. So the head's just sitting there.
Jenny's contractions have helped move the baby into position, and although the baby's heart rate is elevated, she is ready to deliver.
Don't be nervous, you're going to be fine. It's normal to feel like this, but you got it. You're going to meet your baby soon. On my shift as well. I know. So when you get a contraction, you're going to take a big deep breath in. You're going to push with everything you've got. All right. You can do it. Just imagine this baby coming out. Right, there's a contraction. Okay.
Okay,
so
here we go.
Big deep breath in. Hold your breath. Hold down. Chin down. Chin down. Chin down. So push into your bottom. Push, push, push. That's it. That's the spot. Amazing.
Fantastic.
Good. Breathe out quickly and back in quickly. Quick, 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 quick. And again, go for it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. That's it. Good job. Just ease baby out. Good. That's it.
Baby's head's just going to slide out, I think.
Slowly, slowly. Look at this.
Where we go.
Oh, there you go.
It's a boy.
It is such an amazing job.
Welcome and happy birthday.
Building these relationships with couples.
Look at your mummy and daddy.
Seeing that, the rawness. And you're going to be part of their birth. Like, that's insane.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
I can see myself being a midwife for a very long time. I love it, so why would you give something up that you love?
I had a baby.
Did you? Yeah, we had it.
Look, you got your birth in. I know.
Yes!
Submit to standing by for car 438.
Anything and everything can come through the doors of the emergency department at St Vincent's Hospital.
Yeah, I'm about to change the pump set. You're seeing the most critically unwell patients. Do you feeling dizzy at the moment? Yeah. So you need to be able to act fast. My name's Hannah and I work as a resuscitation nurse at St Vincent's. Can I sit you? Before working in the emergency department, I was a geriatric trained nurse. Now, Francis, I was concerned about your haemoglobin levels. So whenever I do see an elderly patient come in who's very vulnerable and unwell, it always gets me a little bit more than probably any other patient. I think it's a real privilege to be a nurse. You're with patients at the bedside at their most vulnerable times. Multiple ICU admissions since the transplant, unfortunately. That's an added responsibility on us to be there for them because it's a strange environment for them to be in. You go, girls. So if you're able to give them that extra little TLC at the moment, it's even more important. The softest pillow I could find. Thank you. No worries.
We're just going to get you onto the hospital bed, Robert, okay?
Hannah is one of 3 specially trained resuscitation nurses on shift when paramedics bring in a suspected stroke victim.
He only says, no, 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 no.
On our arrival, he had obvious right-sided facial droop and has had just incomprehensible sounds.
What you worry about when you do get a stroke call is that the effects of the stroke have already taken place with that patient and they're going to be forever living with those.
What are we getting? Just get you onto this bed in a second. So you
Whether or not that's to do with their mobility or swallowing or speech, it can be quite confronting for the patient.
We'll do everything. We'll tell you what to do, all right?
Yeah. Oh, poor thing. Oh, you're all right. You're all right. The patient is already aware that there is something very wrong. I think it was very emotional for everyone in the room seeing that.
I believe so. We're going to do things quickly, okay? Just bear with us.
We don't know when he was last seen well.
No, we
Does
don't.
he have family? Do we know?
We don't know anything.
Can you grab a posy flush, please?
Robert, my name's Dr. Chrissy.
Oh my gosh.
Where are you at the moment? What month is it?
The team need to act quickly to determine whether Robert's stroke has been caused by a bleed to the brain, a blood clot, or a blockage of blood flow.
Can you close your eyes for me? Good. Can you squeeze my hand? Good.
The patient clearly understands what's being told to him, but unfortunately unable to communicate.
Can you put them on the desk so we don't lose them, please?
Trying to identify which stroke has occurred is really important. 36-1 is? So that we can organise the correct intervention, because it can be life-threatening and have long-term effects for that patient. Robert, we're going to take you for a scan of your head. So getting him to a CT scanner as quickly as possible is really imperative. I just take that tourniquet of his arm.
The average adult brain has about 100 billion brain cells. With every minute that passes, the stroke attacks up to 1.9 million of them.
Worst case scenario is death.
It's okay, Robert. It's okay.
Robert is taken for a CAT scan to determine whether there's a blood clot or a bleed to the brain that has led to his collapse.
Robert, we can see on your scans that at some point you've had a stroke. Yeah. I don't know when. It's very hard for us to know.
Robert lives alone, and the stroke he suffered has made it difficult for him to communicate his medical history to the team.
Are you trying to tell me a number or 3? 3 days? 3 days ago this started, okay.
A CT scan has revealed dead brain tissue caused by a blood clot. From today on, it will be all about his level of recovery.
Walking and everything is okay, but it's affected your speech. Very much so, yes.
Robert's going to be admitted to the stroke unit. He'll go up and have an MRI today. Speech pathologist will come and have a look at him. Rob, here.
There you go, good job, love.
He lives alone and is usually quite independent, so it is quite a profound change. I know, it's a big day. Seeing him obviously really upset and crying was hard. Do you want a little tissue? Because it's very relevant to my life. My grandpa had a stroke. Yeah. And I just wanted to be able to give him the best treatment that I could, like I know that my grandpa did when he had his stroke. Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable? Sometimes it's just the little things like holding their hand and just listening to what they have to say that can really have an effect on a person. Rob, have you got any pain? No. Obviously, it's a big process of, you know, realisation of that his life will most likely not return to how it was and what he's known. But yeah, I think that for us, if we can just support our patients with these major changes and, I don't know, extra TLC, that can sometimes, hopefully, I like to think, make a difference.
Although it's been a difficult day for Robert, there's a small silver lining.
Hey Robert, we've got some good news for you. We just found a lotto ticket in your bag. $15. We'll have to claim that when you get out, hey? Yeah. You're in good hands now.
Oh, no.
It's been 7 days since intensive care nurse Zoe removed her patient Colleen's breathing tube following heart surgery.
Hi. How are you?
Colleen travelled from the Northern Territory, and there's something she would love to do before returning home.
We were chatting to Colleen and we found out that her wish is to see the Harbour Bridge before she has to go back to Darwin. All right, off we go. So we're going up to our private hospital, level 14. That's where we've got the best view of the Harbour Bridge.
14th floor.
I love to go the extra mile for my patients, so to be able to do this with Colleen makes me really excited. Oh, I can see it! Woohoo! There is the famous Harbour Bridge. Wow.
I'll try to stand up.
Yeah. Oh, so exciting for you.
Yeah. Before I came, I just wanted to see the bridge, you know. And I'm excited to see it from here.
Oh, I love that. Looking after an ICU patient, a lot of the times when they are intubated, you don't really get to know the patient very well until you can take the breathing tube out and talk to them. At home, you live near water.
Yeah.
Seen before? Do you go fishing often?
Fishing, yeah. I take my kids to swim.
Yep.
Because I like going to the beach.
And you get to know them and you do really care about them. When you do really care for the patient and when they've been there for a long time, it's also about doing those little things that make their stay in ICU so much better. The best part is actually seeing their progress, and I think it just teaches you that life is so fragile and it's so special.
The buzz from birth unit you get is indescribable. Couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Working together as a team in emergency, making sure that person stayed alive during our shift, got them to ICU or wherever they need to get to. Hearing later that they've gotten out of hospital. That kind of feels good, you know? Yeah.